So, good evening, everybody. Welcome back to my session. Ishika, good evening, everybody. And as you know, actually, I'm conducting some streams on the Creator Club to educate you regarding the possibilities and the technologies related to Web3. And in my earlier sessions, have been talking about what are the components of that. Sorry, components of Sanjay. Good evening. Of the Web3 and starting from blockchain to metaverse and all. And today I'll be talking another interesting article, actually how to get the top career opportunities in the Web3 space. Today, I guess most of my attendees who are attending this one, they are either students who are in their first, second, third year or fourth year of their courses and planning to make a career in this. So Web3 platform is one great opportunity for you. In fact, if you can plan and work accordingly, then actually this is one good platform. Even maybe there may be some students of mine who are in their 20s and 30s who have been already into software industry but planning to make a changeover. Then that is this for them also Web3 is a great one. Or if you are making a transition in life, for example, now you had enough of metro cities like Bangalore and all, then you want to move out to a remote place like a village or a tier two town. Still, the metaverse Web3 offers a lot of jobs for you, which will help you to do it from remote or from home. So that's the whole intention. So today I'll be talking about those opportunities which are available for you. And as you can see, that how to score top career opportunities in Web3, crypto, and blockchain. Today, I'll be covering them very generally. That means what are the designations available, what are the categories available, like technical and non-technical, and then what are the designations available. Then I will also lead you to the resources which you can start there. But probably in the future, I'll be taking each role, for example, blockchain developer, and then I will conduct a stream on that. Okay, great. So now I will be moving on to my presentation mode. And if you have any specific question, you can ask, put it on the chat. Then I will certainly come back and answer you. Right? Okay. Okay. So good evening, everybody, and welcome to my web series on Web3 series, which is describing the technological landscape and also potential of this one. So today I'll be talking how to score top career opportunities in Web3, crypto, and blockchain. See, these are all interrelated. Web3 is decentralized because it is supported by blockchain. So blockchain creates a decentralized things, including currency. And if you have a currency which is created on the blockchain, that is called crypto. So this means these are something like people from the same family. So blockchain is the foundation, crypto is the creation, Web3 is a platform created by the blockchain. So if you want to plan a career in blockchain, I mean in Web3, probably you have to start at blockchain. Similarly, if you want to do any business on them, then you have to use crypto on the cryptocurrencies. So for that, you need to blockchain. Okay. So that is how they are related. So one cannot be there without the other. So this is foundation. These two are the creations. This is one entity created by blockchain, whereas this is the platform created by blockchain. Okay, so let us move. So today I'll be talking about Web3, an emerging and an enlarging career space. See, my presumption is that most of my people, people who attend my sessions are either in the education space now, either they are students or programmers or developers in this, and they want to make a career in the next 10 to 15 years or even 20 years. Okay, that's a basic assumption. So for such people, actually, Web3 is not only an emerging, that means it is just coming into being, maybe in the last 3 to 5 years it has come, and now especially in India it is coming, and it's an enlarging. That means it is growing at a very fast rate, and this is a career space. So if you are a student like my student who is doing an engineering, then Web3 is one area where actually you can focus. So if you once plan it, actually you can do a career and kind of a internship or a project down there, and actually you enter the job. So once I convince you that career, it has a career space, then I'll be talking about technical roles which are available. So if you are an engineering background or a professional like chartered accountant and all, there are opportunities which are available. For example, if you're a chartered accountant, you can include, when you can combine this blockchain with your accounting principles and create a new kind of a platform for transactions on the on the Web3. Okay. And it is only not that only technical people have, even people like artists, system managers, and there are also a lot of roles in this that I will be talking about then. And professional resources which are available. In fact, if you want to start searching a job, If you say like I already have enough of preparation in F3, I will show you the certain website which actually can help you to take you there. Okay. So let me start with this one. Okay, the benefits of career in Web3. Say Web3 career offers several benefits perks that can extremely attract to a job seekers. So when I a job seeker, it could be my student who is just completing third year or fourth year and want to enter job in 2024 or 25. He is also a job seeker. Or it could be an alumnus of my college who was studied in my college who is into some company like TCS or working in Wipro, and you want to make an advancement that now that he has spent about 3 or 5 years, then you want to jump. For them also Web3 is a great platform. Or even if you are in, I told you in 40s and 50, 40s, and if you want to make a relocation, for example, maybe you want to come back to India from America and you want to make a career, Web3 is the best one. And also maybe you are from tier one company, you have to come back either for your children education or your parents are there down in the town or village. Then this also offers you a great opportunity because you can work from the the from your home. Okay. So for starters, Web3 careers tend to be very high paying as companies are willing to pay top packages. For example, in the 1980s and early 90s, if you're a software developer, you used to get a package which is 5 or 6 times a government job. Okay. Now that kind of a thing is actually happening in Web3. In addition, Web3 career offers high salaries and numerous for the advancement. What advancement means that see, if you are 29 years, 30 years, and suppose you want to make a shift, okay, from some kind of a full stack development to a Web3, then this is also a great opportunity. Professional in Web3 also enjoy flexible working arrangement. This is exactly, suppose you are in say 30s and all, then you are just get married and you want to settle somewhere. Then one of the spouses will not get a transfer to a particular location. Then in that case, actually this gives you working remotely from anywhere in the world. So that means one of you can work remotely from here, or you may have to move back to your town or village because you have a old parents you have to look after. So this kind of a flexibility is given by Web3. So beginners can think that people who are in the middle career they can think of this, and also finally people who are want to relocate for whatever the children's education are looking after the parents. Additionally, Web3 career offers opportunity to make positive impact. This is one important. See, not all of us actually live for just earning our 2 meals, right? So I don't want a job just which will earn me the rent or my meals or my vehicle and all. We want to make some kind of a positive impact in the world. In that case, actually, Web3 is the best one because now it is just starting. So you may choose a particular line of Web3 career, and not only you earn your living, you certainly will earn money enough to get married or buy a car, buy a site and all. But then above that also you can make a lot of positive impact. Okay. The reason is that actually the way internet changed our life, the way this mobile phone changed, it's going to change the way we live, work and play. Okay. If you are looking for a career that offers both personal and professional satisfaction, Web3 career is an excellent choice. Okay, this is my not only my opinion, it's the opinion of many people. It is starting, so you will don't have that much of a competition. And this is starting, so it will not be already crowded. For example, if you are planning a career in software development and all, today it is very much crowded because it started in 1980s. There are people who are in their 20s, 30s, 40s. They are in the software industry with Web2 and all. But Web3 is something like a new area, Newfoundland, or like kind of a virgin market for you. Okay. So with this background, I will start with this one. So technically speaking, actually, there are two kinds of job available for you. One is technical, that means if you are from engineering or other professional background like chartered accountant or a finances, then actually there are jobs. If you are a non-technical person also, there are openings for you. Okay. So just we are starting with technical roles. So in order to succeed with career in Web3, you need to have a range of skills. It's not one skill or one kind of a specialty. You should have a range of skills depending on the job that you want. In particular, you will need to be skilled in coding languages if you are an engineering background, design software if you are both engineering and even otherwise, and data analysis. Coding languages you need because much of the much of the creations on the Web3 happens on a computer platform or a software platform. You need to code either your applications or your appliances or your routines. Okay. Design software because as you know that whatever that happens in the computing field actually happens in terms of writing a program which is a combination called software, and data analysis because you need to understand your customers, the product and the system that you want. So essentially, you need coding skills and software, and you also need communicate effectively with the stakeholders and manage team of developers. So depending on the role that you are seeking, for example, if you want to be a program manager or a software development lead, then actually you should be able to communicate effectively with the stakeholders. That means you want to get a job or a job is a project from somebody, then you should be talking to your customers. He is one of your stakeholders. Okay. Or you want to convince some investor, providing assuming that you want to start your own startup and manage a team of developers. That means if you have recruit some 10 or 12 people as a part of your team, then these are the basic skills that you want. But if you're into very core, then you need a strong programming skills. Okay. For and these kind of the thing that you need to do is actually for decentralized application. This is a fundamental difference. The advantage which you get from Web3 is because there are very less people who develop decentralized application. Now people are good in developing centralized application. For example, you can develop an application on AWS, you can develop an application on Microsoft Windows, you can develop application on Android. They are all centralized applications. But now, if you enter into that market, it is already crowded. There are millions of apps already available. But suppose you want to come into Web3, then you will be doing something called decentralized application. That means there is something blockchain then above that you are doing. Then you should also have a strong cryptography skills. Cryptography skills actually, because of the problem that we have faced in Web2, which is like privacy, data leak, and other things, Web3 is using what we call blockchain-based identities. For that, everything is encrypted and decrypted. So that science is actually called cryptography. So that means a combination of decentralized application along with blockchain and cryptography will help you or give you a very strong foundation. Okay. Some of the application that you can do when you can be participating for DeFi, that is decentralized finance, and decentralized autonomous organization, NFTs. NFT is something you create for each and every customer. Okay. So let me see, are there any questions? Okay. Hello, sir. Good evening. Sanjay, what are the skills that are required to land job in Web3 that I'll be covering? Now, am I audible or not? Somebody said, Ritik, volume has gone down. Am I audible now? Hopefully, yes. Okay. Yes. Okay. Now, Ritik, okay, what are the skills that are required to land that I'm covering? And in Web3, is there any job opportunity for management students? Yes, it is there. I will show you, Manveer. And what are the various role jobs and opportunities in crypto space? That also I will cover you. Perfect. Okay. So now I am talking about technical jobs. Okay. So now the first job that you can get is actually blockchain developer. So blockchain like developer is like a software developer in the Web 2. So that means there is a requirement from a customer. Then you collect all the customer requirement, you develop an application on a centralized world. But here, now actually it starts with a blockchain. Okay. So now blockchain, it is indicated by a Bitcoin here, but that is a different technology. So the blockchain developer role is one of the most in demand in Web3. It is like equivalent to a software engineer in 1980s and 90s. A blockchain developer will be responsible for developing blockchain application as well as managing them. So a blockchain application would mean this. It is a decentralized application and it is peer-to-peer. That means there is no centralized authority. In order to be successful blockchain developer, you need to have a strong coding skills and experience in cryptography that I already told you. You will be need to be familiar with a blockchain platform you are working on, for example, Ethereum or Bitcoin. See, like in the software, I mean in the Web 2, there are certain platforms for developing the application. For example, you will develop an application, say for Windows platform. You will develop an application for say Linux platform. You will develop an application for iOS, that is Apple, or you will develop an application for Android. So now there are different platforms which used to be there. So in the blockchain, there are certain very famous development platforms called Ethereum or Bitcoin. Okay, so development, I mean the platform knowledge is very important. And if you want to become a blockchain developer, we recommend you to learn smart contracts, which is actually a combination of blockchain plus an agreement. Right, unit test in software engineering mean actually when you are developing a software, there will be multiple functions. For example, assume that you are developing an application to create and print a document. So creating a document is one unit, saving a document is another unit, and actually printing a document is another unit. So when you're developing, if three people are there, somebody will actually create a document and he will test whether it works or not. Somebody will write, edit and say that whether editing works or not. Third person will actually test whether the printing will work or not before. And when everybody says yes, the product is released. So those testing, only the editing part, only the printing part, only the creating part is called unit test. Okay, and develop your contract on the Ethereum network. Today, actually, if you develop an app, whether it will be go to Android or it to iOS. Similarly, in blockchain, in the Web3, it will go to Ethereum network. Okay, look at this. These are the developers. So this is actually either a Bitcoin platform or it could be an Ethereum platform. So similarly, in the Web2, we have software architect. Architects are people who are above developers. So what architect will do is something he will give you a broad shape of the particular application. For example, suppose you want to build a house or a museum. It is a civil engineering job, but before that, there is an architect who will tell us what to construct and what is the functionalities and what are the other components there. So the same idea is actually used in the in the software. It's called architect. In fact, Bill Gates was the chief software architect of Microsoft. Okay, that means architecture comes at the top level. Blockchain architects are high in demand in Web3 era. As business are race adapt to blockchain technology, they will need design and build blockchain application. So application is done by a developer, but to decide what applications to be designed, what is their role, you need an architect. Okay. You also need to able to translate business requirement to technical design. What it actually means is very simple. Suppose you come out with an idea called like a Zomato, where actually it will collect food from different restaurants and deliver to a customer. So not, that idea is be converted into an architecture so that every hotel owner, restaurant owner can connect to that one. Similarly, every customer can be connected to that one, and all the financial application like Paytm, UPI get connected with it. So that decision actually is called technical design. So that means there is a customer whose app should be connected to that. I mean, whose wallet should be connected. So another example, like say, you look at this Uber or Ola. So Ola, one side there are customers who will be using your application on their mobile. The other side there are taxi drivers and drivers who will be connecting you to on that platform. So that is called technical design. Okay, you need to learn about designing and building scalable. Okay, scalable is something which is very important. What it actually means is if it works for 10 people, it should work for 100 people if the application becomes successful. Similarly, if it works for one language, say English, tomorrow it should be able to work in Hindi also. That means an additional thing. So that should be the second one. So that means you start with a blockchain developer if you are a beginning, but if you are an experienced person, you can become an architect. So the third role that you can get is actually decentralized application. That means developer. Today, I told you it is centralized application. You develop an Android application and put it on Google Google Play Store, or you develop another application, put it on Microsoft platform, or you can put it in iOS. But in the blockchain, it would be centralized. You don't put it anywhere. You put it on the blockchain and send it. Okay. Decentralized application developers are responsible for developing applications that are run on the decentralized network, which is blockchain, Ethereum, or Bitcoin. To be a DApp developer, you need to have an experience in coding languages like Java, JavaScript, and Solidity. Solidity is essentially because it gives you an ability to write programs on a blockchain platform. DApp developers are high in demand. Web3 era as most this is actually moving decentralized application. The way, for example, I'll tell you, see, up till 2007 and 8, there were only web applications. That means you have to go to a desktop and connect it. But then when the mobile came with a smartphone came, no, all applications were converted into a mobile app. So similarly, most of the people are actually moving from our mobile apps to decentralized apps. The next one is actually Solidity developer. It is actually a specific language. A Solidity developer is someone who writes code in the Solidity programming language, and Solidity programming language is designed for blockchain application. Solidity is a contract oriented. So I told you part of the blockchain is called smart contract, and this program actually helps you to write those contract oriented. So oriented is actually that which is helps you towards that. For example, we have object oriented programming which uses objects. Similarly, this uses contracts as the basic thing. High level language for writing smart contracts. It is designed to target Ethereum virtual machine. virtual Ethereum virtual machine is nothing but a basic resource which is given to you on which you can write a program on a Ethereum platform. Solidity developers are high in demand because they develop decentralized application on the Ethereum blockchain. So now the next is actually smart contract developer. So I told you blockchain is a peer-to-peer. So it can write something on a blockchain which cannot be deleted or edited. So for that reason, the same idea is actually be used for doing an agreement. So for example, if I and you are a tenant and a landlord, then actually we can enter the rent agreement on that. So similarly, if you if you are a lawyer and I mean if you are a businessman and you are selling something or a leasing something, that agreement can also be entered on the smart contract. Now to do that, you can also become a developer. Your job is to go to a owner or a landlord and say that I will write your agreement on the smart contract and it give you. That's all. So let's say you develop an application for somebody. Okay, let me see. Are there any questions? Yeah. Barun, even Rust is also a language. Yes, yes. See, what happens is web is a big world. Okay, so there are people who choose language depending on their requirement and their choice. So there is one platform which only works for Windows. There is another Java, sorry, which is like works for Android. So there are different of varieties are there. And in my opinion, these platforms are like religions. Okay, so some people have faith in certain platforms and they go ahead. But as you say, actually, Rust is also a great platform. Okay. And Manveer, what is the language required to develop smart contracts? I am just showing you. Okay. This is the language. Manveer, have you noticed this? Okay. Ishika has asked me this question that I'm answering. Okay. What is the language required that I told you, Manveer? It is this one. You and Rust is okay. Okay, I have answered Manveer and then I'll move on to Barun. Barun also have answered. Then I'll move on. Okay. 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 So now I told you Web3 is combination of many things. So one is actually blockchain. Another one is called 3D graphics. So 3D graphics is actually three-dimensional, this one. So now today internet is actually 2D. That means I can only see the screen and listen to a music. So there are other three senses that I have like smell, touch, walk, and other things which I can't do in the internet because it is 2D. Now people are trying to do it to a third, 3D space so that I can enter in the in the internet and start doing activities like a meeting or a surgery or a tourism. Okay, so that world is called metaverse, but metaverse is essentially a Web3 creativity. Creation. So now Metaverse developers are responsible for developing managing application in the Metaverse blockchain. So blockchain specifically meant for Metaverse, for example, gaming or NFT or actually contracts or actually conducting a musical concert. For example, you create assume you create a museum on the Metaverse, then you want to charge people for getting into the museum, then you need a cryptocurrency. So those applications which are specific to Metaverse, which are used on blockchain, are called Metaverse blockchain, and you can also become a developer. And they are also decentralized application, immersive virtual experience. Like you can enter into a game, and as I told you one of my earlier presentations, in Metaverse you can do many things. There are people who got married in the Metaverse. There are people who actually attend meeting on like Microsoft HoloLens and all, right? So what are the skills that you need to get into that? The first thing, strong coding skills in Java or JavaScript, experience in blockchain technology, okay, experience in developing decentralized application. For example, if you look at all these things, okay, you should be this, you should also be this, you should also be this, you should also be this, and then only you can become any one of this. Okay, understanding the virtual reality. That I have another session. There are lot many careers in augmented reality and virtual reality. Probably I will share that presentation to you at this end of this, or I will conduct one more. Okay, and you also should be knowing smart contract. So when you want to enter metaverse, then it's a combination of many things which are already listed. Today NFTs are becoming a kind of a craze today, and NFT is nothing but an entity which is created on a blockchain where actually you can assign ownership of an item to a user, because in a blockchain, whatever that is assigned can always be claimed and proved. Okay. So an NFT developer is someone who creates, manages NFT fungible tokens. For that, he needs to know blockchain, and he also has to know how to create a smart contract, because an NFT, whenever it is sold, the royalties are given to the owner all the time. Okay. And there are something like assets, collectibles, and digital rights. So let me tell you what is asset. Anything, for example, maybe you remember, or you maybe you attended my previous session, where actually in metaverse you actually have real estate. That means you can buy a piece of land. So that is an asset. Similarly, within a game, actually you can buy skin. For example, you can buy a skin of a soldier or a king or a warrior. So those are all called in-game assets. They are all created using blockchain and NFTs. Collectibles is something like we collect for our showcase and all. For example, if you're attending a particular match, and actually if a particular team wins, then you can collect their t-shirts, or you can collect their sports items like a wicket or a bat and all. So they are collectible, but when they are converted into NFTs, they can be stored on the blockchain. Okay. And finally, integrating NFT into their businesses. This is an example. For example, assume that you are a company who is trading cricketing bat. Okay, so then you are selling them. So it may so happen that to promote that one, you can get a bat signed by either Sachin Tendulkar or Virat Kohli or MS Dhoni. So those where actually now NFTs are integrated into the business. That means somebody can sell you a bat which is actually signed or autographed by Dhoni or some celebrity or a Bollywood celebrity. Okay. Now look at this. NFT is a creation. Now there is a coding on the blockchain. Then you are creating that. It's essentially an asset. For example, in the Web 2, actually it is creating one application or one software. And finally, actually, in any web application, there are three parts. One, what the customer will see, that is called customer interface or the front end. And what actually happens, that's called middleware. And the third one is actually the back end. Now, suppose you are developing an application in the metaverse, then there is a front end, basically, which you can see on your mobile or your desktop or laptop, and there is a smart contract which insists everything. For example, if you want to enter something, then the money will be deducted from your cryptocurrency, or if you buy something, which will be deducted from that, or you sell something, that will be credited in that. All those things come under smart contract, which is written on blockchain. Wallet is technically your purse. That means if you are to participate in anything in the metaverse or say in Web3, you should start with your digital signature, which is called actually a wallet. So wallet will have a public address so that people can send money to that. And there is a private signature, a personal signature, which you have to make to transfer money from your account to the other one. So front-end developers are people who actually create that front-end. For example, if you come to my website in Metaverse, then you should enter. For that, you should enter your credentials. In the Web3, we don't ask for your name and all. We will ask for your credentials through your digital signature, which is actually used and done using wallet. Okay. Backend is anything which actually kind of like databases or processing and other things. Okay. And the next one is blockchain data engineer. As you told, no, unlike in our traditional database where actually we have rows and columns called records and all, blockchain contains blocks which are encrypted. That means once you create a block, you cannot touch it. So the fundamental difference between current databases and the new databases actually, earlier database were editable. That means you can change that one. So because, for example, Indian Railways has one database for the passengers. If somebody books a ticket, it is recorded in the same place. Or if somebody cancels book tickets, then also recorded same place. Okay. But that editing feature is not on the blockchain. So that has a different structure. For that, you need a data engineer who has to again architect that one. So how do you collect data? How do you actually block that data and just get connected to everything? For example, suppose you Indian Railway actually starts using blockchain, then whenever somebody books a ticket, it will create another one block, and whenever somebody cancels a ticket, it will create another block. Currently, what it is doing, it is actually overwriting an existing database right now. Okay. So with this, actually, I have completed the technical rules. Okay. Are there any? Okay. 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 Manvir, I will answer your question. So, what's the difference between a blockchain developer and a metaverse developer? Actually, blockchain developer's job is very simple in the sense he will do one thing. Either he will develop an application on like a cryptocurrency and do that, or he will create an NFT, or he will create a smart contract. These are independent jobs. They can do it for one person or 10%. But in the metaverse, it's an integrated system. That means to log in, you need a wallet, and that wallet is on a blockchain. So the metaverse developer should take care of that. That means how do you connect your wallet to your application, either for paying money or getting money? One. Secondly, suppose the person enters your metaverse and start playing games. Then if he earns something, he may buy a game. For that you have to deduct. So that means this deduction should happen within your application. So metaverse is a combination of application depending on your context. Okay. So in a sense, blockchain is one activity. Metaverse is a system of such activities which are either AR, VR, augmented reality, virtual reality, or it could be completely blockchain. Okay. I think I have answered your question, Manvir. There is one question that I have not answered that I will answer you just later. That management. Okay. Any other questions? Okay. Web3 management. Okay. Okay, then I'll move. So now I'll be talking about non-technical roles. So jobs that I already told is essentially technical and engineering background or a technical background like database and all. But it doesn't mean that only technical jobs are there. As I told you, Web3 is going to create a new world. So when we create a new world, we cannot leave anybody behind. We have to take everybody in. Okay. For that, there are non-technical jobs also there that I will be talking about now. Okay. If you are not a developer, don't worry. There are still plenty of opportunities with Web3 people with non-technical. Non-technical would mean it's not engineering. Okay. Strong writing and communication skills if you have, for example, a manager or an HR manager or a public relation manager and content writers. For example, now we need lot of content. Content, it could be a game or it could be a letter or it could be an experience, it could be a song. And community managers. This I will tell you what are they, and UX designers. So UX designers are actually combination of technical and non-technical, but they are mostly artistic people. That means they have that aesthetic sense. How does look I should look? What should be the color of that? That doesn't come from engineering background. It comes from a kind of a artistic perspective. Okay. So now there are strong. I mean, if you have a strong writing and communication skills, then you can have become content writer, community managers, and all. I will tell you what are they one by one. Okay. And if you have a graphic design skills, for that you don't engineering. Graphic design skill is actually somebody who comes from arts like BA arts or drawing or actually sketching, that kind of a thing. For example, if you have to create an NFT which looks like a doll, there is engineering behind it, but then the appearance and all it should come from an artist. Okay. UI and UX design, this will tell you what people will like on a screen. Product management skills, that means this is more of a management. For example, if you there is something called product management institute. No, so products have some like life. They start, they are developed, they are released, they are maintained, then they are retired. Okay, so then actually you need that role. These are all non-technical. That means you don't have to be an engineer to do this. Okay. The first role that you can have is actually is called user experience or UI designer. That means when somebody comes to my Web3 entity, whether it's a website, a metaverse, or a product, or a game, what will happen to him is called user experience. Okay. So for that, you should have a smooth, I mean, you should create a smooth and intuitive user experience for the web application. That is Web3 application. That means somebody should not be frightened when he comes to my metaverse. Somebody should not be get confused or lost when he comes. So that is a new job. People are trying to do that. They need to have an experience in designing user interface. It could be a mobile interface or it could be a desktop interface and all. For this, they have to know little HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, but these are all not very high-ended. It's like see, an engineering knowing a little of English. Okay, it's not that he will become a literate, he will write stories and all, but he knows little of English, which will help you to communicate. Similarly, a UX designer will know HTML, CSS, and JavaScript to the extent that he can understand and explain it. Community manager, this is a very new job for which you should give pay attention. See today in the internet, What actually happens is, suppose you get into any centralized product like Google, or Windows or Telegram and all, what actually happens once you are a user and they will actually create certain groups and join you. For example, Google, you can create Google groups, which actually put people together. Similarly, in WhatsApp, you can put groups which are inside WhatsApp. Inside WhatsApp. Similarly, you can make groups in Telegrams and do that. But they're all centralized. That means if you have already a user of WhatsApp, you can be always put into a group because they're all centralized. But blockchain and even the Web3 is a decentralized. That means you cannot get the information of a user permanently. You will give that information when he enters, it goes back. So for that, holding the personal information or a private information of a person or a user is not possible in the Web3. Okay. For that, then how do you maintain the relationship with them? So that is for which actually you create what we call communities. Okay. There will be a Bitcoin community, there will be a Ethereum community, which actually are online communities like Google Group or Twitter groups and all. For that, you need a different kind of a manager, which includes online marketing, social media, and customer service. That means you should be promoting them all everywhere, but then you will be managing that community. The purpose is actually building and maintaining an online community for a company or a product. Today, actually, I told you there's a GitHub for the developers. Similarly, there is groups for artists and all, LinkedIn groups and all, but they are all centralized. You have to have a LinkedIn email or a login to that. But in the metaverse, there is no such thing like in Web3. For that, you need to a different kind of a category, and that is called community manager. Content writer, again, content is always there because even in Web2, content was a big thing. Either you write a blog or a story or a script and all. Here actually it starts from writing a story to a game to content within an NFT and all, creating an engaging and SEO friendly. SEO is actually search engine optimization. That means if you build a site, now people should come. But to that to happen, actually, your browser should get your search, put your website there. For that, there is a technology called search engine optimization, which you can use. And creator economy is a new term which is used in Web3 because people can create games, NFTs, artists, and all, they can sell that. Graphic designer, I told you, the way you created a Web2, you also created Web3. Product manager, I told you, for example, suppose you create one game in the Web3, that is your product, then you should be doing all the product management, like whether this starting from feasibility, whether this game will be sold or not, whether there will be enough customers to buy this. Then if it is yes, then you should develop that. For the development, they have to a team. Then business analysis, that means how should we promote this? Where are my target customers? Are they, and once the sales start, are we performing as much as we are expected? All those things will come in. Research analyst is somebody who will study before and after the product launch. That means, will there be a market for this Web3 product? That is research analyst job. Are we selling it correctly? That is also research analyst job. What is that we have to do additional things so that we can sell more of this product? That's also research analyst job. Okay. So I have come to the conclusion. Okay, then there was one question. Okay, Manvir, you had asked in Web3 there is any jobs for the management students. Yes, there are. You can be a product manager or a community manager, or what else? I think I should be looking back here. Community manager, and you can also be, if you have a combination of this one, you can also be a product management skill. Okay. 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 Have I answered your question? Okay, Manvi. Then what are the various roles and jobs? Ishika, I already told you. Okay. And what is the difference between blockchain? Okay. Yeah. See, Sanjay, marketing is a general term, but what people say is actually marketing is to be done with what we call channels. Okay. So channels are different. For example, if I want to reach a person who is in their 20s and 30s, then actually mobile is the best medium or a best channel. Okay. So similarly, what would happen is actually web through marketing is different because I will be looking and targeting at different people. For example, if you want to sell something to me, then I will not be as much as in the metaverse as my two daughters are. So they will be into, because for them reaching them is actually much easier if you put a additional. I mean, if you are advertising in Instagram and all. So that's a web marketing. Okay. Similarly, as the market grows, then Web3 also become a channel for both selling your existing Web2 products to a people and also to sell Web3 products itself. Okay. So in my opinion, Web3 will become a new platform, sorry, new channel. Okay. Platform technically, but channel in terms of marketing. So for that reason, actually, it will be different from the current marketing. Yeah, correct. Web3 marketing is different from traditional marketing. See, traditional marketing starts with print-based. Earlier, people used to put print advertisements on the newspapers and all. Then they started putting on websites, and they are started putting on your game, I mean your apps also. For example, many apps will have in app advertisements. Now, if you are using a particular app and if you want to go to Cricinfo, Cricket and all, within the match commentary, you will see an ad. Okay, so all this would happen. So my answer to your question, yes, web marketing is different both in content and perspective and also from the possibilities. Yeah, I think I have answered your question, Sanjay. Okay. Mustafa, you are silent today. You didn't ask any questions. Okay. Sanjay, are you there? So, Ritik didn't ask any question today. Nothing. Mustafa just said hello. Okay. Reem. Okay. Mustafa. Well, yes, yes, but you seems to be okay. Great, great. Ritik. Perfect, perfect. Oh, good, good. Yeah, yeah. See, I'm conducting lot many things. I told you, no, if you want to see all my presentation, Mustafa, you can see this one. I have made some 20, 30 streams on different topics of this one. Okay. You can check it here. Okay. And also you can suggest things. For example, if you want to suggest a particular topic for my future streams, that also you can do it here. Okay. Okay. And Ishika, I think I have answered your question. What are the different roles and all? Ishika, are you there? Then who else? Ishika, Sanjay, okay. Frame. Frame and Saurav. Yes, yes. DeFi actually I can do that. Okay. 1 second. Okay. Mm. Okay. Mustafa, here is my session actually. Mustafa. This is a video which explains about DeFi. Actually, I did this session on, when did I do this? 14th September on the Crater. Okay, please check that one. Okay. I will implement, try to implement this in my, okay, great. Suggest topic link is something I really like. Okay, great, 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 great. Okay. Now that would actually help us to get topics from the audience because see, Web3 is little that we know, but then there are different perspective and angles from people would be learning. Okay, great. And who else is this? Okay, so Mustafa, you got this. So this session was done on 14th, but I will, if you want, I can repeat it sometime. Okay, then I think I have answered every question. Okay. Uh, okay, sir. Ishika seemed to be silent. She asked the question, I have answered that, and she has disappeared. Okay. Language equal to the Manvi, I told you Solidity is a language. Okay. Okay, Sanjay, anything you want to ask us? Frame. Okay, skill set I have answered, hopefully. Okay. Okay. Okay, okay. So if you do not have any further question, and I think this is the time that we should be closing this. Okay. And the conclusion is Web3 is a newfound land. Like see in the 14th and 15th, around 15th century, Columbus discovered America. I know a lot of people went there. They took lands, they did farming, they did many other things. Something similar like that. Or even if you look, Elon Musk now is actually going to space, Moon and other Mars and all. So something like a newfound land. So it's a great opportunity. It's an opportunity for all of us actually. We are a developer or a new person or a manager with the right skills and experience, you can start your career in this and start doing this. All the best. And tomorrow, I will have these are some of the uh, option, I mean, information like Web3 jobs, Web3 career, again Web3 jobs, okay, it's jobs and blockchain council and this one. This I can share you. And tomorrow morning, I mean, tomorrow actually I'm doing this session on cloud computing. Okay. Cloud computing is one of the foundational technologies of the internet. And as I told you, there are five technologies which make up the Web3. One is blockchain, one is 3D, and another one is cloud computing. Then is another edge computing and 5G network. Okay. Uh, please share the links in the chat. Okay, I will do that. I will do that. Okay. Uh, I will do. Well, give me a minute because it is in the file. Okay. Okay. Mhm. Give me a minute. I will do that. Okay. So here are the links. Okay, you need to separate them. Okay, but then there are here they are. Okay. So make some time to attend. Join session tomorrow. Okay. Then I will be sharing about cloud computing, understanding cloud computing because the way metaverse is changing or the way Web3 is changing today. 10 years back, it was cloud computing which changed everything. So now there are many players, including like say Microsoft, which have Azure. Okay, and yeah. Okay. Anything else you can certainly ask? Okay. So that's my presentation for tomorrow. And day after tomorrow, I'll be talking about Learn Application AI, but then that I will announce it tomorrow. Okay. Oh, great, sir. Great, great, great. Okay. 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 Bye bye. Bye then. Thanks for attending.